Hey, welcome to Jofer Jeff. I'm Jeff, and I watch a lot of crappy movies. Being a slasher fan means you watch a lot of crappy movies. It's really exciting to find a good one, and I just did. It's called Lost After Dark, and it just came out. Nobody famous is in this movie except for one person, and one person only, Robert Patrick, the T-1000 from Terminator 2. He's also in NCIS, The X-Files, Zero Tolerance, just a slew of other movies that I really enjoy, and I really just watched it because he was in it. I figured if he was in it, it's worth a shot. Here's the plot. This takes place in 1984. A group of students steal a school bus during a school dance, and they're going to go up to one of the girls. Her parents have a cottage. They're going to go up to the cabin for the weekend, party, drink, whatever. Anyway, as they make their escape, the principal sees them. But they get away in time. But halfway to the cottage, the bus breaks down, runs out of gas, and they walk over to a nearby house. Now this is a spooky looking house, and it turns out that the person who lives there ain't cool. It's a basic standard slasher movie plot. This one involves a cannibal killer stalking the kids who trespass around his house. Without spoiling anything, I just want to tell you, it is really good. You'll pick out the final girl and her boyfriend really quick, and the movie kind of changes some things up. I don't want to spoil too much, so if you want it to be spoiled, I'm going to spoil it, but just take my review as I love this movie. I had a really good time. It looks great, sounds great, there's great acting, great special effects. I recommend you see this movie. Now I'm going to spoil it for you. Okay, so here's the plot. Like I said, they're on the school bus, they've hot-wired it, they're driving in the middle of nowhere, the bus runs out of gas. So a couple of them get off the bus, take a walk, try to see if there's anything around. They find a house. Spooky house, but a house. So they go back, they get their friends, and they all go to the house. Now it turns out the house is the home of a cannibalistic serial killer, thought dead. And he kills and eats people who come by his house. The final girl and her boyfriend die quickly. That was the thing. It was the good girl. The opening story focuses on her and her family, and she's the first one offed. And I thought that was really cool because I totally didn't see that coming. The fat guy, yeah, he dies. Yeah, he's fat. The black guy, he's black. He dies too. Everybody dies except one, but it does have a happy ending. Robert Patrick dies. Now, I thought he would live. He's this cool, school principal, but he's former military, and he's going to kick ass and everything, and yeah, he dies. I'll give you a little bit of the plot. They're basically stuck at the house. The killer is picking them off one by one. That's where kind of one of the weaknesses of the movie is that the killer can be outside, and then the next scene he's in the basement, and then he's in the barn. He seems to find them all pretty easily. I didn't really have a big problem with that. A lot of slasher movies do that. It kind of worked. I mean, a lot of the characters were likable. I really hate those movies where you watch a group of friends going out to some kind of gathering or party, and all they do is yell at each other, and you don't think, these aren't friends. These are just people who hate each other. I want to see them dead. Here you actually like everybody, and they kind of have their own personalities. One of the things I did not like about this movie, specifically, there's a cutscene. One of the girls is running away, and she runs, and she gets a bear trap to the ankle. And this killer starts coming towards her. And they do that effect where you see the film and the movie kind of burn out, and then they cut to a typo that says film reel missing, and then they cut right back to a different scene. Kind of Grindhouse type. It feels really out of place. This doesn't feel like a Grindhouse movie. That's the only instance of it. So I didn't really understand why it was in there. It really did feel out of place. I think they could have just done a transition scene, and it would have done a lot better, because the girl doesn't die. She actually turns up later, and you're wondering how the hell that happened, and obviously that's the missing piece. I really think they should have done something with that, kind of showed how she got away. It would have made, I think, a tighter, better picture. I mean, it's such a small quibble. They do a rip-off of that scene from Zombie where the woman is pulled into the wooden plank and it goes slowly into her eye. The black guy gets that one. It's CGI, but it's done well. I mean, I never understood that. I mean, how hard is it just kind of turn your head just a little bit instead of getting it right into the eyeball? So anyway, yes, Robert Patrick dies. Here's the ending. The first victim, the girl who I thought was going to be the final girl, her father shows up. He's got a gun, and he shoots the bad guy. That's basically it. And of course, they give the backstory at the end. And it turns out this guy was part of a cannibal family that lived in the house. They were suspected of killing passerbys. Finally, the police siege the house. They think they killed everybody, but this guy got away. They never really thought about it again, and apparently he's been living in the house. As the girl's being driven away in the ambulance, they pass the coroner's van, and you see that the bad guy has escaped, and he's still alive. What's funny about that, and I didn't think about that at first, the ambulance that passes this doesn't stop at all. You would think that an ambulance driving past another ambulance that has hit a tree and the driver is kind of sticking out the window, they'd stop and give help, but they kind of just keep driving by. Not a deal breaker, still a good scene. They have that final scream. They also have that opening kill, you know, the one that doesn't make any sense. And a lot of movies I've been watching recently have that, where the killer will kill somebody early in the movie and it has nothing to do with the rest of the plot. It's basically some guy in the house. He may have been like a hitchhiker or something, I don't know. He dies quickly, and then he's never mentioned again. But all I can say about it is I really like this movie. I didn't think I would, quite honestly. I've been seeing a lot of crap lately, but this one I really enjoyed. I think you should really check it out. It's not on video demand yet and DVD, but it will be soon. Like I said, Robert Patrick, always great. Great special effects, great acting. I'm going to put this on my to-see list, and I hope you do too. So thanks for joining me. Please like and subscribe and leave any comments below. And I'd just like to say that if you are looking for a certain movie, I can get anything. So hit me an email, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.